So it turns out we were all worried for nothing. Hey everybody, this is TJR. Paul McCartney's 17th solo studio album entitled Egypt Station was released today. I have spent the whole day listening to it off and on, just kind of getting to know it. And I will start by saying that Egypt Station is a tremendously enjoyable album. The song For You notwithstanding, I think that most McCartney fans and Beatle fans are going to be delighted with this album. Now, I remember when the first two advanced singles, I Don't Know and Come On To Me, were released. I felt very strongly about Come On To Me. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And I thought that the song I Don't Know would probably grow on me, and it definitely did as time went on. In fact, I even like it more now because of the instrumental lead-in that leads into the song. Once again, I've said this before, that sometimes your opinion can change on a song when you hear it in context with the rest of the album, and that song in particular, definitely my opinion was improved when I heard that track in context with the rest of the album. Then, of course, came the third advanced track, For You, and like a lot of folks, I was disappointed. But as I said then, one disappointing track does not a bad album make. So what happened here is it turns out that Paul McCartney saved the really good stuff for the final album release. This is a tremendously versatile album, with McCartney jumping around from genre to genre, playing with bossa nova, 80s pop, Hendrix fuzz, drop D tuning, funk, and even flirting a little bit with progressive rock on a few tracks. And at times, he's also doing his very best to not sound like Paul McCartney, and succeeding in a very good way. Now, for those of you who want to hear him sounding fab again, I recommend track 4, Happy With You, a wonderfully beautiful acoustic guitar-driven ballad that echoes Beatles classics like Mother Nature's Son and McCartney solo classics like Bluebird. I have to admit, I was trepidatious when I saw the title for track 8, People Want Peace. I'm always a bit concerned with songs that announce an obvious message in the title, not because I disagree with the message, but too often with message songs, the artist forgets to deliver a good song and gets too caught up in the message. Not so with People Want Peace. This is in large part due to the way that McCartney has written the lyrics so that you can interpret it in a number of different ways, and also because the song has a very well constructed and very strong chorus. Now, I'm just scratching the surface, but this is one of the most musically adventurous albums I have heard from McCartney in quite some time. The only dips in the album for me were tracks 9 and 12, which is Hand in Hand and Do It Now respectively. But at 16 tracks, Egypt Station can be forgiven for having a few slow moments. These few slow moments aside, Egypt Station just shines with inventiveness. And this is very evident on the album's epic, despite repeated warnings. This is track 14 respectively, and already there's a lot of buzz on the internet that this is McCartney's political statement against the current U.S. presidential administration. They may very well be correct, and I suppose you could interpret it that way, but honestly, on just a purely objective reading of the lyrics, I feel that there are a number of different ways that you could interpret this song, but at the end of the day, it's a very inventive song. Now, I want to address McCartney's voice. There were a number of comments on my previous videos on the advanced track stating that his voice sounds too old. And yes, McCartney's voice does sound more aged on this album than on any previous album. But there is still, in my opinion, an unbridled youthfulness to not only the musical performances on this album, but also in how he delivers his vocals. And despite an aging voice, he can still deliver the emotion and, most importantly, the enthusiasm needed. And I will say that as the album progresses, you will notice the age in his voice less and less. This is what happened to me when I listened to it. And the album's second epic track, entitled Hunt You Down /Naked/Sea Link, is a perfect example of this. Now I got the Target Store edition, which has 2 bonus tracks that are not on the standard release. And yes, I enjoyed the bonus tracks just as well. In fact, one of them, Nothing for Free, qualifies as one of the much more inventive tracks and ranks as what I would refer to as the least McCartney-esque song, but still completely enjoyable. I do like the way the album is packaged. Now, first of all, there's this little rubber band here that holds it in place. This is how it's actually packaged once you take the shrink wrap off. I've noticed that most of them have a red band, but this one had a green one. I'm assuming this is because it's the exclusive Target edition. I'm guessing anyways. This folds out. This is a huge fold out here for a CD here. Let me just kind of slide this past you here so you can look at it here. There you go. And the interior, of course, let me slide that past you here. This features all the lyrics, has a few photos here. This is where the CD actually fits in. The CD itself, it has its own I was going to say envelope, it has its own sleeve, which is very good because without it, this would slide out real easy. In fact, this wanted to slide out easily too, which is why I recommend that when you insert the CD, you put the opening to the side here and then slide it in with the closed top there. So in case it does fall out, you know, it falls out with its sleeve on. And then, of course, as before, you do get this free rubber band to hold it in place. It's been said before that Paul McCartney doesn't really need to do anything anymore. He could just rest on his laurels if he wanted to. So it's, I think, amazing to know that he can still surprise me. I'm definitely recommending this album, definitely giving it a thumbs up. And I'm curious to know now what you think. Have you heard the album? Please leave your comments. As always, if you like what I do, be sure to click like, click subscribe, and be sure to click the notifications bell icon so you can know when I release new videos. Thanks everybody for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.